Hi everyone, it's Beck and Sally from Nap Trapped, your favourite baby sleep podcast. And we've had such an incredible response to the podcast that we thought we would add in a second episode each week, but change it up a little bit. So we're still going to do our Tuesday main topic that we discuss and talk about, but we're now adding in a little rapid fire episode for the other end of the week. We're going to do Q&A. We're going to answer the questions that come in either in our DMs, our emails, on the comment section of this podcast, and be the little sleep detectives that we love to be, and try and figure out what might be going on for you and how we can help.
We love getting into the nitty-gritty, I think. So you'll hear us sort of nut it out between us in terms of, how we would tackle this particular scenario. And we may have differing opinions on it as well as we sort of move through some of these questions. But it will be great for you to hear how we base our opinion on in terms of like what steps you need to take in order to resolve your sleep challenges. So it's going to be a great
and also put all the
episode.
Things that we talk about more into real life examples that you're living and breathing every day. All right, so let's get started. This was a comment on our Fast 5 for newborn sleep top tips for the fourth trimester. Sophie says, first time mum with an 8-week-old and love this episode. Thank you. Thank you, Sophie. To achieve a dark room, is there a recommendation to achieve this without replacing our blinds? And we love a pitch black room from about the age of 6 to 8 weeks onwards. So this is a really good question rather than having to renovate your whole house and spend the big bucks. Beck, what do you recommend?
Definitely. Look, when I'm thinking about, I'll give you scope. So when I'm thinking about a super dark room, I'm using like a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being light and bright, 10 being pitch black. We are looking for a room that's probably an 8, 9, 10 on the scale. So a lot of blackout blinds irritatingly have those little chinks of light that
around the sides
don't quite meet the sides. So my tips are usually based on cheap and cheerful. So I would usually just get my families to roll up a towel and sort of jam it up the top, or maybe if they're able to use like a dark sheet and use some drawing pins to sort of tack it up and just sort of drape it over. So not necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing.
We're not going for home beautiful here.
Oh, we're not.
No.
There are families that will use a spray bottle and then aluminium foil on the windows.
That's what we have. It can leave a mark though.
It can.
On
so
the
rentals
glass.
don't do that.
You can just get a glass cleaner because we are in a rental, and we have always just got a specific. I can't even remember a specific glass cleaner, but yes, it should come with that caveat that it can leave a mark. There are brands. Like the Grow blind has the blind on the suctions so that you can
great.
They can, they are. I have just always struggled with the actual suckers. That like maybe my window's too dirty, or it's like I don't know. There's still light that creeps in. Yeah, probably. That sounds like me. Grubby
Not
windows.
in your hotel. Not in your hotel.
But they're good for travel because then you just take it off and go with you. I sometimes take garbage bags if I travel.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They're
sounds
great.
a bit OTT, but they're really good, and some duct tape.
Yes, no, cheap and
Customs
cheerful,
may
that's
wonder
what
what on earth you're packing. Yeah. Or
oh
like
my God.
a
Okay, can I
doona.
just talk about customs just for 1 second? Oh
Please.
my God, so sorry. For Dexter's first birthday, he's 17 now. For his first birthday, we took him to New Zealand to see my parents. And I had a few days earlier made his first birthday cake. And I'd gone to Coles and got a few things. And then when we landed over in New Zealand, we opened the buggy up. And in the bottom of the stroller was 1 kilo of icing sugar. So no one stopped us.
Nobody turned
no
a
one
head.
said anything. And they were like, oh, parents obviously making a cake. And I was like, this is the most suspicious thing going around. Like, anyway, so that was, anyway, I
The
digress.
sniffer dog must have
must have been
known.
like
They're like,
identified cake.
cake, sweet. So, yeah, I mean, cheap and cheerful is absolutely the way to go, particularly if you're looking to make change now, which if you're like me, if I make a decision, we're doing this now. I've also used before the Ergo peel and stick. But again, I actually have never found a product that I love. Maybe we should come out with one, Beck, a nap trap blackout blind. But there's lots of things both on the market plus what you can use what you've got at home.
Yeah. I mean, the other option too that I often give is using a cardboard box that you've just moved house, or you've got some cardboard boxes, or your child's car seat. They're usually nice and big, those car seat boxes, and you can sort of split them up and sort of put them between the glass and the blinds, and sort of you can tack it up. How it's not going to look amazing.
The more cracked-in vibes, the better.
Yeah, your neighbours are going to look at you strange when you walk out your house, but you get, hey, sleep is
your
amazing.
Baby sleeps. Yeah. In terms of your scope of the 1 to 10, I'm exactly the same. And I often tell families that my test is that, let's say it's the middle of the day like it is for us right now. You set your baby's room up for nap time. You go in and you close the door behind you. You stick out your hand. If you can clearly see your hand, it is too light.
Yeah.
We want your eyes to try and figure out if there might be a hand somewhere, because we not only want it to be low stimulation, but we want that melatonin to be pumping.
Absolutely pumping.
So you can definitely use the things that you've got at home.
Just on a note of that too, sorry, Sally, and I know this is designed to be sort of quite quick, but take notice too of where, if you've got something like a grow blind or a glow dreaming or whatnot in the room, your glow dreaming should be switched off unless they're over the age of 2. So we're not using night lights at all, like in their rooms. So you can ditch that and then your room will be darker. But if you've got like a grow egg that is, it has an illumination factor to it, you need to pop that underneath the cot or behind a chair or some sort of, pop it somewhere where it's not causing a stream of light to be viewed.
Yeah. And look, I personally use the glow dreaming in my house even now, and I've used them in both of my babies' rooms when they were younger. And I always tell families, your baby's not afraid of the dark. They don't yet have an imagination when they're, particularly when we're talking baby. If you needed to go in and feel safe while you're doing a feed, and I've seen those videos where parents pick them up by their legs because it's so dark, they pick a baby up by the wrong end, or they sit down on the floor and miss the chair. Definitely, you could pop something on that's not going to interrupt melatonin production. But those lights are really bright, and your baby does not need it.
Yeah. And look, if you had to use something like that, I'm not saying, say if you've got a glow dreaming and you want to use it for night feeds or whatever, so you're not missing the chair. Definitely use it. I would maybe try and diffuse the light where possible. So have a little tea towel or something that goes over the top. Try and really sort of dull it down a little bit where you can. So make the space a little lighter, because the more light you filter into a situation, the more awake your little one is going to get.
And we like sleep.
Me too.
Surprise, surprise. Okay, this one was about our first episode, which is still our most popular because it just understandably resonates with so many people, about why we recommend keeping the third nap in as your secret weapon. And Sydney says, I have a 7-month-old and we dropped the third nap last week. Sleep went great at first and all of a sudden waking up at midnight and 5 a.m. I can't wait to try adding this third nap back in. So insightful. And this is a really common pattern that we see, that it works initially because sleep pressure is so high, baby's so tired, they just kind of conk out and pass out. But then over time, if it has been dropped too early, this overtiredness starts to compound. And that's when cortisol starts to rise. We get these overnight wakings and that signature 5 a.m. wake. And that is the reason we need to bring it back in whilst you sleep train out all of those things. So it's really common that it works initially, maybe even for a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and then it all starts to go south. That's a really common thing I hear from families.
It'll snowball. So it will be, everything is great. Then you've got the 12 a.m., 5 a.m. wakings. Then it becomes, okay, now we've got to get the earlier bedtime because baby's woken so early and now we've got to put them to bed early, and then your scheduling is all changed and your feeds change, and you've got the early bedtime, early wake. You've got more the naps have deteriorated through the day, so now they're not even sleeping their full allotted time frame for both naps. And very quickly it can sort of descend into chaos. So
Very quickly.
if it's working, it's working. If it's not, you'll know very, very quickly. And then it's time to sort of put that there. Don't be frightened of putting the third nap back in. It's totally
it's not a
fine to do
regression.
that.
It's not a failure.
It's not a regression.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you got any on your piece of paper there? Or do you want me to keep going?
Yes. I do have one. This is from the Snooze Social. It was, my daughter is 7 months old. I was previously doing the pick up, put down method. And we just got to minimally settling her in the cot. She got her first two bottom teeth and completely regressed. She wails unless we pick her up, and we've had to sleep holding her overnight. Now for naps, I can't even put her down in the cot because as soon as she rolls over onto her tummy and stands up, no matter how tired she is, how to get back to settling her in the cot. Is this just a phase that will pass?
I think this raises a really good point about the pick up, put down method, which can be very effective for a lot of babies. And I think it's a really great sleep training technique, at least, even if it's just the gateway to then being able to get to even more independent sleep. But it has an expiry date and it's usually age-based. For me, I often find babies after the age of 4 to 6 months, so it's amazing that it's been able to be useful up until 7 months, they outgrow it because it become very overstimulating, very exciting. It drags the process out and a lot of babies no longer respond to it. And that's a really common thing. Babies outgrow, particularly hands-on settling techniques like the pick-up, put-down.
Yeah, the pick up, put down, I feel like for me, the shelf life is once they are able to stand up. And then it's no longer pick up, put down. It's I stand up, you lay me down. I stand up, you lay me down.
Yeah.
And then it becomes this really stimulating wrestle of trying to get them to stay down. And often you're having to use some sort of force if you're having to do that, it's not a technique. Like you are literally wrestling with your little one. Like it's not a technique, and it's your little one is telling you they're ready for something different at this point.
Yeah. So what I would say to this family is that, regressions happen, sickness happens, teeth happens. The progress that you already made should give you the confidence that your baby has these skills. The technique is no longer working. Chances are they've outgrown it. That also happens. If anything, what I would do now is less is more. At 7 months, a lot of babies need space. And so I would probably looking either at, a gradual fade out of your presence in the room if you wanted to do an in-room approach, maybe just patting through the cot and then retreating for a little bit. Again, if you wanted an in-room hands-on approach. Otherwise, I'd be doing something a little bit more traditional like a FERB or a modified FERB sleep training technique so that your baby has that opportunity in space to use the skills that you were just showing them that they've got with the pick up, put down method.
That's right. And especially with little ones who are pulling to stand and have got that energy, that's where your bedtime routine is going to come in super handy. You need to make sure that you've wound them down, wound out all that energy, make sure you've primed them, got them ready for bed. And for little ones who are learning how to pull to stand in the cot as well, you need to give them loads of practice time through the day. So let them cling onto the coffee table, cling onto the chair.
All that couch surfing,
all the things. You need to ensure that they're getting lots and lots of practice time so that they can learn. Because, for little ones who are standing in the cot, the thing that is super frustrating is that they don't realize they need to bend their knees to sit down again.
The logic, they're not thinking clearly.
So they need a little bit of help in order to get back down from a standing position. So you need to offer lots of practice time during this transition, like this learning phase.
Yeah, and then once you know that they can do it and you've seen them get up and sit down and get up and sit down during the day, it's no longer your job to pop them down. They can sit down and lie down on their own. Your job is to create this consistent pattern of reassurance that you'll always come back. You got eyes on them. You can see them on the monitor even if you're not in the room. But it doesn't need to be a two-player game of you lying your baby down. because then that's
exactly.
all right. Well, I think that's it for today, but we'll keep recording these episodes. We'll keep being the sleep detective. So keep your questions coming, and we'll add this into our repertoire.
And I would like to encourage any age questions as well. So
Absolutely,
newborns
yeah.
all the way up to 3, maybe even 4 years. Everyone's facing different challenges. So let us take the pressure off and give you some answers.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will head to the kitchen to see what's in our slow cookers, make some lunch, and we'll see you on the next episode of Nap Trapped.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.